Hey everybody, Dr. Rachel here. Did you know that according to medical news today, 20% of us struggle with food intolerances? Now, when I heard that, that sounded like a lot to me. I don't know if it does to you, but then I started thinking about wheat, barley, dairy, cheese, gluten, avocados, bananas, and just everything under the sun that I hear all the time that kiddos are either allergic to or sensitive to or just full-on intolerant of. It's no longer just dairy and gluten as the two big culprits. But why? Why is this happening in our world today? That is a question that all parents have. Is it the bad food supply? Is it GMO products? Is it enzymes we're not producing? Is it a little bit of all of it? It's really hard to know, and that's why I wanted to make this video today, because if you're a parent who has a kiddo that struggled with this, you've probably tried everything. You've tried the elimination diets, you've tried the enzymes, you've tried the supplements, you've tried the allergy testing, you've really tried all of the above. And that's why I want to talk about this today, not from a what's going on inside the gut and what are the enzymes doing perspective, but really how is the brain talking to that gut through one key pathway, one key nerve, and that nerve is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is so important when it comes to food intolerances, and I'm going to dig in and explain why. Now, first off, when it comes to food intolerances, oftentimes it's categorized as an enzyme insufficiency where the gut can't break down a certain protein or a certain food. Or secondly, if that's not the answer, maybe they'll dig a little deeper. Maybe a gastroenterologist will look at it, and oftentimes they'll recommend eliminating certain foods. And while that helps a small percentage of kiddos, it oftentimes doesn't really get to the root cause. All it's saying is, okay, I gotta avoid this food for a lifetime. And oftentimes that's not a great answer for a kiddo who just wants some of that birthday cake at the birthday party, or they just wanna eat some pizza when they're on vacation. It really just isn't a great answer. The real answer comes in when we look at it through the nervous system lens and look at that vagus nerve that I mentioned earlier. Now, the vagus nerve is so important because it comes from the brainstem. And it comes from the brainstem and goes to the lymph, the lungs, the heart, and all over the gut. And the vagus nerve isn't just that brain-gut connection that we talk so much about. It is also a sensory nerve. And what it's doing is it's sensing everything that's going on in our body, in our heart, lungs, gut, and it's sending that information back up to the brain to let the brain know what's happening in our bodies. And so if that vagus nerve is stressed, it may say, hey, there's an intruder, there's something that shouldn't be there, when it's actually fully good for us or okay for us. It sees something as a threat that actually isn't a threat. Now, why is a pediatric chiropractor talking about food intolerances and the vagus nerve? Well, it really comes down to the root of where the vagus nerve is. As a pediatric chiropractor, I'm concerned with the brain-body, body-brain communication. And it just so happens that the vagus nerve is most susceptible right up here in that upper neck, upper cervical area. In fact, I want to change screens right here and show you this map of this area between C1 and C3, which is really right here between the ears, nose, throat, and the middle of the neck. And that's where the vagus nerve lives and is the most susceptible. And it's the most susceptible because babies have a really hard time when they go through extra birth stress, whether that be C-section, forceps, or traumatic birth, where this area gets a lot of extra pressure placed on it. And that can affect so many different areas of the body. It can affect the immune system, the ENT system, it can affect speech, and especially it can affect that digestive system. And remember, the vagus nerve is a sensory nerve. It's designed to sense what's going on in the body and then relay that to the brain. So then if the brain is telling the gut, hey, we need to be on high alert, and you have that cheese, casein, gluten, and the nervous system overreacts with a rash, upset stomach, GERD, reflux, all of those digestive struggles, it may not be the food. It may be that communication that the brain is getting from the gut via the vagus nerve. That's why the vagus nerve is so important when it comes to digging into food intolerances, because as a parent of a kiddo who's struggling with food intolerances, you've probably already tried eliminating foods. You've probably already tried supplementing, and it just isn't getting you all the way to the answer, or the answer is something that's hard to live with, that your kid just can't have something anymore. maybe it's time to look at the vagus nerve, because oftentimes the vagus nerve is that root cause that can go with food intolerances, not because the food is bad, but because the body is recognizing it as something different, something that shouldn't be there. So if you struggle with this and have questions, let us know. This brain-gut communication is so important for kiddos, and it can help them so much. Oftentimes, kids that struggle with food intolerances also have immune struggles. They struggle with behavior and meltdowns and such, and sensory stuff, because it really all works together through that vagus nerve. So if you want to know more about the vagus nerve, please reach out. We'd love to chat. The vagus nerve is so key to helping your kiddo, not just with food intolerances, but with so much more. So we'd love if you could like and share this video. If it could help someone else in your community or someone you know, that'd be awesome. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.